Hey everyone, Steve Kim here. So excited. Lucky Steve Kim Show, episode number 13. Look, I wanted to do something a little bit different for this episode. You know, every month, every week, I've been kind of going through the monthly stats, the numbers, what the market's been doing, months of inventory. But I wanted to do something a little bit different for all the home buyers that I've been able to work with, and for those looking to kind of get into the market, whether it's the fall or in 2019. And so one of the things that I always get is, Steve, how do I come up with a larger down payment? Look, I met with a fantastic home buyer today, was looking to purchase their first property, and when I sat down and we kind of went over their financials, it didn't make sense. And I said, you know what, maybe it just makes sense that you rent for another year. The look on their face was priceless. I think it's like, you know, maybe I was the first realtor ever to tell them, don't buy, but just continue renting. Look, I know renting, you know, there's kind of the pros and cons, but look, if you can't afford to purchase, then don't purchase, right? Save a little bit more money to get to that point, because the last thing that I would ever want anyone to get into is to be house poor, because you absolutely don't want that. So I've created this list of 5 things that I tell to all of my buyers, right? So let's get right into it. Number 1, practice mortgage payments. And what do I mean by that? Look, if you have the ability to live at home, or you're living at home currently, that's fantastic. And if it's rent-free, even better. But what I want you doing is if you're starting to look for a property, go on realtor.ca, find an agent, you know, have them start sending you some listings. From there, take a look at some of the banking mortgage apps. They're able to kind of calculate what the month-to-month mortgage payment might be. And what I want you to do is if you're living at home, start saving that, right? Start practicing that mortgage payment, whether you save it and you give it to your parents, or you save it and you put it into kind of a savings account. And I'll get to that in number 5, okay? Number 2, the latte factor. I'm sure you've heard of this. Look, we have so many, you know, kind of small expenditures in our day-to-day or week-to-week, whether it's coffee, it's lunches, you know, whatever it is. Look, if we cut out even 25% of those small little expenditures, that could equate to thousands of dollars. Look, for all of my crazy, like, coffee drinkers out there, and I know this is pretty, like, ludicrous for me to say, try not drinking coffee, like, 5 times a week. So drink it on the weekends, but maybe 5 times a week, you know, don't drink coffee. Just that savings could be thousands of dollars you can put towards down payment, which is crazy. Number 3, the home buyer RRSP. And for all of those who have been kind of putting into your RRSP, what you can do is you can actually take $25,000 out of that RRSP tax-free on your very first home purchase, right? The only caveat is that the government requires that you pay that $25,000 back within 15 years. And all of my buyers who've actually gone into the RRSP have been able to pay that back in half the time. So it's absolutely something that you should take a look at. One thing is if you go over $25,000, that becomes kind of taxable income. So I say, you know what? If you can get to $25,000, amazing. Anything lower, that's awesome too, because that's tax-free. Number 4, the wealthy Barbie. Look, if you've read the book, it's fantastic. And really, it's the rule of 10%. Whatever my monthly paycheck or my bi-weekly paycheck is, I take 10% of that and I put it into savings. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind, right? Whatever the 90% is, you know, those are living expenses, you know, entertainment, so on and so forth. And I may even want to save a little bit more, and I recommend doing that from that 90%. But that 10% should just go right out, right? And right into a savings account. And then number 5, plan ahead, invest, right? I meet a lot of buyers, and buyers are saying, you know what, Steve, I want to buy in, you know, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Look, when I sit and I look at the financials, sometimes it just doesn't make sense. So look, if you're looking to get into the market in 6 months, not 6 years, 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years down the road, plan ahead and invest, right? Take all of the money that you've been saving, right? And put it maybe into a GIC. And look, I know my friends in the banking industry, they're like, oh, you're crazy, it doesn't pay anything. But at least it's paying something and it's guaranteed. Especially if you're only looking to save for 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years for that home purchase. Look, making money and then getting paid for that money that you save absolutely is a win-win. Look, I hope you found this episode interesting. I know it was a little bit different than kind of our monthly market update videos, but as always, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to send me a text, give me a call, shoot me an email, or come by and say hello and knock on my door. One thing I want to just point your attention to is next week, we're going to talk about all those additional fees when buying a property, right? So those are things that absolutely you should be prepared to save as well. Anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to speaking to a lot of you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.